Hey guys, welcome to this pre-game edition of Cover One Buffalo. I'm Aaron Quinn. We were supposed to have Rob on with us tonight, but Rob is having some issues getting on. He might pop in here if he gets a chance. We'll see. I'm hoping that he does pop in. So we got the chat rooms going a little bit. We're going to run over some news. Obviously, Dean already had mentioned in the chat room here, if you haven't seen, we have some injuries or not playing necessarily, not necessarily injuries, but guys not playing tonight to report. It looks like, let's see here, Zay Jones, Cam Phillips, Corey Coleman, Corey Thompson, and Trent Murphy are all not playing. I did hear reports that Zay and Corey Coleman were going to dress, but not playing. I mean, that happens here in the first preseason game, so that's not a big deal. So, yeah, we're not worried about that. I didn't expect Corey Coleman to play in this game, so that one's not a surprise. I was hoping that Zay Jones would be cleared for contact by now. I think we talked about it a little bit on the podcast last night that he's a little so far behind as far as reps goes. I think Zay really needs a game like this to get out there, even though he's listed so far back on the depth chart. I just think he needs as many snaps as he can get to, elevate himself into position. Because right now, like Nate said in the podcast, I think Corey Coleman comes in higher on the depth chart than Zay does, just because he's a little bit in the doghouse. So I thought it would have been really nice to get Zay out there tonight. As far as the rest, I think Trent Murphy has been trending towards not playing in this game. He still hasn't been able to practice a lot. So big night for Shaq Lawson, possibly maybe being able to either, one, solidify himself as somebody the Bills want to keep on this roster, or two, make a case for himself as somebody that holds trade value. Again, something that we've talked about here on this show. Whether or not Shaq Lawson has any trade value, whether or not McDermott and Bean are considering even shopping him. Obviously, he's often talked about as a trade candidate. So that's that. We got Nathan Peterman starting at quarterback tonight. Everybody was buzzing on Twitter today who was going to be able to be the starter tonight. It's going to be Nathan Peterman. So he gets his shot with the ones to see what he can do at quarterback, see if he can separate himself a little bit from A.J. McCarron. We'll see how that goes. I know my boy Tyler, who's in the chat, is really pulling for Nathan Peterman to create that separation for himself. He's definitely a guy that believes in him. So shouting out all the guys. I see a lot of the same familiar names from our Slack channel. If you don't know, get in on the Slack channel. You can get there by joining our premium membership. Go to cover1.net right now. Go look at it. For $10, you can get into the premium membership for the year. That gets you access to our film room, access to the Slack channel, access to all of our premium content. Eric's always dropping dimes in there, film that not everyone gets to see. So you get a little behind the scenes. You get access to all the contributors, a lot of great conversations in there. Thanks, Vance. I hear you over there, man. So the chat room's bumping right now. So yeah, it looks like Peterman, Groy, McCarron, Bodine, from what Eric's saying in there. So an interesting group there. I thought Bodine would get the start. I think that's another even competition that we talked about again in the last night. I think somebody's got to separate here in the quarterback and center competitions. I don't know if it happens tonight, but I do think it happens here in the next week and a half. Somebody's got to really create that separation. And again, when I talk about separation, I think the separation needs to happen between Peterman and McCarron. One of those two guys has to get out of that mix, because I think of them as the same. I think it's 2 versus 1 in the quarterback competition. I want to see Allen at the very least as the number 2 quarterback going into the year. I don't want it to be, Peterman, McCarron, and then Allen at third, and maybe not dressing for games and things like that. I would like to see him actually dressing and getting into it. One thing the chat room's buzzing about a little bit here, and I just saw the video, Eric sent me the video prior to going live, is the Kelvin Benjamin Cam Newton exchange. Obviously, Kelvin Benjamin had some harsh words about his time in Carolina, and specifically about Cam Newton, saying wasn't the best quarterback fit for him, and he was hoping that he would be with a more accurate quarterback. Definitely some words that the Bills didn't really want him stating publicly. He does. It goes out there. Cam had kind of got on Instagram and said, that's cool. Kelvin's still his boy, kind of trying to play that side. Cam approaches Kelvin on the field. Kelvin did not have any interest in talking to Cam Newton, kind of gives him a little shove away. It looked like they were trying to talk a little bit. Cam followed him. Kelvin had zero interest in this. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are here in the chat room about that. My assumption, and this is total speculation, is that Kelvin heard something that Cam has said about him, or somebody in the Carolina Panthers organization has said, but Kelvin is clearly mad, and it's not just the fact that he doesn't think Cam Newton's a bad quarterback. Something was said about Kelvin Benjamin that he has taken personally and is not very happy with a guy that, by all indications, was a good friend of his during his time in Carolina. So some personal thing has happened there. Maybe an interesting story to watch. I'm sure people are going to be asking both Cam and Kelvin about this post-game, all the guys that are there doing their jobs, interviewing. So maybe something to keep an eye on. I'm going to be interested to see how that video's out there now. We know that Bean and McDermott didn't really like the way Kelvin Benjamin handled this with the media and answering the questions the way he did, and then taking to Twitter to then continue to talk about that. I think that it'll be interesting to see their reactions to how he reacted to Cam on the field. I don't know if they said they had spoken with Kelvin about this, so you would think Kelvin would try to avoid the situation entirely. Maybe that's what he was doing by not trying to talk to him, but the optics don't look good going into the game here today. But let's see here. You and Gory driving the Peterman bus, Tyler. Hey, man, I really hope that Peterman, I don't care if it's Peterman or McCarron, I really, again, want separation at that, what they're calling the starter position. I just want one of those guys to show that he's better than the other, because I haven't seen it yet. Again, I haven't been to camp. I'm just getting, firsthand reports and videos, but we'll see if somebody can create separation. I'm expecting, when people say playing with the ones, I'm not expecting a group of the ones to be out there for long. At least I'm hoping not. I'm hoping Kelvin Benjamin doesn't play more than one drive. I hope Shady McCoy doesn't even play, but obviously he's going to. So if he's going to, I hope it's one drive. I don't care if it's a 3 and out. Do not put Shady on the field for a long period of time. Even guys like Deion Dawkins. I know you want to create some cohesiveness on that offensive line, but I'd be totally fine if a guy like Dawkins didn't get a lot of playing time. This is one game. We got a long month ahead of us. Game 3 is where you're going to ramp up those reps a little bit more for that starting unit. So this first game, I'm not really interested in seeing some of these guys for any more than a drive, maybe 2 drives if it's a quick 3 and out, and they want to see if they can get some rhythm and string something together. I guess I'm okay with that, but definitely want to limit the amount of time some of these stars are on the field. Your Charles Clay, obviously I said Shady, Kelvin Benjamin. Some of these guys that have had injury histories, I don't know. I just feel like you're risking it. I don't know what you guys think here in the Slack channel about that, who you want to see and who you want to see come in for those ones. But I don't think AJ McCarron is going to get reps with what we're calling the ones. I think he's going to get some reps with guys like Brandon Riley, Malachi Dupree, who has gotten some reps with the ones. And that's the other thing here when we're talking about the starters is guys are being mixed up here in camp. So when we say the ones, you're seeing on the depth chart Andre Holmes listed as the number 2 receiver. You're going to see Rod Streeter in here. So I don't think yet they have a real consistent group of ones. We don't know what that's really going to look like yet. Obviously, you have co-starters at quarterback, co-starters at center. There's some battles going on, behind Shady, things like that. So we'll see what this starts to look like. I think it's going to be very vanilla tonight. And we're, these first preseason games, guys, I know we're really excited, but they tend to be sloppy. You get guys coming out for the first time. You got some guys playing their first game, so there's some jitters to it. The bright lights, playing in the stadium for the first time. So it could be sloppy. It could be a long night. But it's good that football's back, right? So, somebody said, did not look friendly, the Cam and KB video. Dean is saying Panthers are down 2 starting offensive linemen. Yes, they are, but again, it's preseason, so I'm not really concerned about winning or losing. I'm concerned about individual battles and guys winning their battles and seeing what they put on tape, because that's the big thing here, guys. We've talked about some of the flaws that people have seen in training camp. AJ McCarron holding on to the ball too long, or making wrong decisions, guys doing different things, but it's a practice situation, so they might be working on stuff. They might be being told to do certain things. Now we're going to see them in a game situation, running probably a vanilla system scheme, but they're still going to be putting some stuff on tape. And this is what guys like Eric are going to go look at and say, this is what I see in live bullets, live game action. And this is really going to be the type of thing that determines, who makes this 53-man roster. So, Yeah, somebody's saying not the most mature, but why poke the bear? I'm guessing you're talking about the KB stuff. KB topic's going to be pretty hot, I think, going into this game. Probably on Twitter right now. I'm not on Twitter, but I'm assuming that that is a very hot topic right now. We're not going to stay long here today. Obviously, I want to go watch the game myself, but we are going to come back on for the post-game show right after the game. We're going to give our initial reactions, and stay tuned to cover1.net because Fernando's going to have his up and downs from the game. Rob's got a bunch of articles coming out. Eric, if you aren't a member of The Athletic, Eric dropped his piece on Corey Coleman. You're definitely going to want to get in on that. If you're not a member of The Athletic, go do it. It's very much worth it. It's a subscription that I definitely get my value out of every single week, especially just the pieces Eric writes. So definitely go do that. If you want, hop in the Slack channel tonight. We'll be talking during the game. So go ahead and get on that membership. Go pay for it right now. $10 will get you in the Slack channel. Can't beat it, guys. So get in there. We'll be talking in there. But definitely join us live on the post-game show. Hopefully we'll have Rob in here. I'll help him fix whatever's going on his side. And we'll get Rob in here to get his reactions to the game. We'll break all that down, talk about some of the position battles. And real quick here, before I do run, we didn't really get to talk about the defense. I don't know about you guys. I'm super excited to watch Tremaine Edmonds run around on a football field with other NFL players. I haven't gotten to see him at training camp. I've only seen pictures and a few videos. Definitely super excited to see him and hoping that he's out there for a decent amount of snaps. The rest of the defense, I don't want to see Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Kyle Williams. I don't want to see those guys out there for any length of time. But I definitely want to see Tremaine Edmonds, even Matt Milano, because he was coming off an injury. I want to see him. I want to see what type of player he's going to be year two. Harrison Phillips. Definitely want to get a good look at Harrison Phillips here in this game, see what type of player he is against other NFL guys. This is a chance to go against the guys that they haven't gone against yet. So they're going to come out there hitting. They've been going against the same guys for a few weeks now. Let's see what they got, match up against some other guys. So it's going to be fun. The chat room's going right now. Do you guys have any last questions here before I get out of here to go watch the game? Put them in the chat box. This is something that we're going to be doing throughout the season here. We're going to do our pregame stuff. We're going to pick an exact time of when we'll do all this so you guys know when we'll have it on. And then we're always going to have a post-game show. So definitely tune in. Go to the Cover One YouTube page. If you haven't already, subscribe there. And then when you go there, there's little notifications. It's a bell, I believe it is. Go to that bell, click it. It'll notify you when we go live. So it'll go right to your phone or to your desktop, wherever you are. It'll notify you guys, hey, they're going live now. Also follow us on all of the social media platforms. We'll tweet it out. We'll put it out. But expect to be here after every game, talking with us, getting in the chat box, all that stuff. We're going to cover this all year long, pregame, postgame, and then always, like we did last year, we're going to have Wednesday show. That's going to be our matchup show. We have a bunch of guests already lined up from the opposing teams that week. Just, we don't get to follow. We're not like other NFL sites where we follow all 32 teams. So we're going to bring in people that are experts in their area on their team and kind of talk to them about what to expect. And hopefully they learn something about our team too that they can work with and have a nice conversation about, what is that opponent like? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And then we can kind of talk about how the Bills can effectively go up against them. So it's a great show. So you're definitely going to want to get on that, the Wednesday shows as well. So for now, guys, I appreciate everybody coming in. The chat room was going pretty well. And so let's see here. I remember Preston Bowden had trouble with that and affected defensive complexity. Can you take a look at how? Oh, I think he's talking to Eric. Sorry. Vance is asking my score prediction. Oh, geez. Preseason. I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring today until Josh Allen gets in and starts throwing that ball all around the field. He might light up the scoreboard, but no, I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring. Maybe like a 21-17 type of night. I think maybe some ugly touchdowns are going to happen. I think this game's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be slow. I'm not, as far as the quality of football we're going to watch, we're going to really have to, I think, keep your eye off the football and watch some of the individual matchups tonight, watch special teams, and really look for those guys at the bottom of the roster that are going to make a name for themselves to get themselves up the depth chart and make a spot on this team. How many quarters for Josh Allen tonight? I think I think he gets the whole second half. Maybe they let McCarron get the first drive of the second half and then let Josh Allen get the rest of it. I think part of keeping Allen in the third spot right now is they want to see as much as they can of him on and get some tape in a game. So I do think Allen's going to get quite a bit of time in these first two games, full second halves. I would not be shocked if he got full second halves. And then in the third game, you really want to kind of start to solidify who your starters are going to be, really get them a full half. So I think right now is the time to get some film on Josh Allen against some other defenses that he hasn't seen yet, against other professional players that aren't the Bills, and see what he can do with the lights are on. So we'll see that. I think we'll have a little bit better understanding of what they're trying to do after the game. So again, like I said, join us after the game. We'll be on as soon as we can get on to discuss anything that happened in the game, any of the position battle breakdowns, things like that. You know where to follow us. Go do it. Guys, get over to your TVs, grab a beer, get some food, and enjoy that football's back. I'm excited. I've been excited all day. I slept in Bills pajamas. I woke up and put on Bills shirt and hat. It is football season, guys. This is what we've waited all spring for, most of the summer. We got football back. So let's go enjoy it. Whatever happens tonight, just sit back, enjoy the game, and hopefully some guys step up and really impress us, and we can get back on and talk about that later. We appreciate everybody coming out. We can't do this without the fans, so it's awesome to see when I'm getting ready to sign in that multiple people are there waiting for us to get on this show. It really keeps us doing this all the time. It's a lot of work, but you guys make it worth doing all the work, so we really appreciate you, and hopefully we see all you after the game. So enjoy the game, guys, and we'll catch you later.